We're finally getting far more of a break. Still some coastal showers ongoing, some thunderstorms, especially north of Port Fourchon, from Port Sulphur down toward Venice and Grand Isle, but these will be winding down in the next several hours. So we're going to scoot across the Gulf into the western Gulf to find what is inching closer to making its way off the coast is potential Tropical Cyclone 1. There is a brief window of opportunity that we could see it try and develop as it hugs the Texas coast later during the day tomorrow. But one thing that we're going to be watching is the fact that around that center, there really are no storms. All the storms are well removed to the east. And that's occurring even before it really starts to interact with some stronger wind shear as it gets closer to the northern Gulf Coast. So as it approaches kind of the big bend of Texas and then nearing the southwest Louisiana coastline, wind shear is going to start increasing. So that is the reason why we are expecting the bulk of that moisture to move over southeast Louisiana compared to where the center of the storm will be making landfall somewhere near Lake Charles. So as far as the landfall goes, not too concerned about that. It's going to be the fact that all of the heavy rainfall will be removed and sitting over southeast Louisiana. Now, as far as the timing goes, as I mentioned, our coastal showers kind of winding down. Rest of the night tonight going into tomorrow will be dry. Then we watch that surge of associated moisture start moving in probably later in the evening and night tomorrow. So much of the day tomorrow dry. By the late evening and night, we start to see the rainfall moving in. Now, this particular model keeps indicating that the heaviest of the rain occurs on the north shore as it just kind of stalls north of the lake going well into the day on Thursday. And that's why this model has been a bit more aggressive with rainfall totals on the north shore. I think the better bet is going to be probably 2 to 3 to 5 plus maybe 6 inches of rain with some localized areas of over 8 inches, though the Hurricane Center, or excuse me, the National Weather Service office locally mentions the fact that it's not out of the realm of possibilities that a few spots could see in excess of 20 inches of rain. Those, though, would be few and far between. That is a look at an update on potential tropical cyclone number 1, still not a name yet. If you would like a little bit more information, join us on WWL Streaming.
This has been a severe weather alert from WWL Weather, sponsored by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
All right, thanks if you're joining us on streaming here. Again, looking at potential for the rainfall. And again, what will be really interesting to watch during the day tomorrow, and I'm going back in time to start our precision cast model to at the moment, will be once this storm gets into the Gulf waters, if it's able to develop or not. Not as important as to where do all of the thunderstorms set up with regard to the center. Again, if the center stays well removed to our west and the storms continue to follow a path taking it right over southeast Louisiana, then there really is no avoiding the heaviest of the rainfall. If perhaps the center or even where the bulk of that moisture is shifts to the east, then maybe we get a reprieve. That has not been the trend on model, but it'll be something we watch for tonight, but more so throughout the day tomorrow. Again, as far as the timing goes, we will stay dry early tomorrow, at least mostly dry. We don't get into those heavy rains until late tomorrow night and into early on Thursday. What has been interesting with this particular model, this is one of our high resolution models, is that while we do get some rain on the south shore, it quickly moves and focuses north of the lake. And then this model stalls the heavy rainfall across the north shore. It's the reason why this model has been calling for those bullseye totals of 20 plus inches of rain north of the lake. Now, the Weather Service has mentioned that is certainly a possibility, albeit a very low chance of that happening. It is possible only because this moisture is a lot of moisture. These storms are able to tap into some deep tropical moisture with efficient rainmakers. And if we were to see any rain training over a particular area, I don't think we're going to see any storms stall per se, but if they start just moving over the same locations or we see storms kind of back building upon themselves, then 10 plus inches of rainfall certainly possible. And again, that slim chance, but a chance nonetheless, of 20 inches of rain. This model tries to keep the rainfall across the North Shore going well into the early afternoon Thursday, and then finally starting to taper off. In fact, by Thursday night, I think we'll finally be drying out. Some scattered showers are likely on Friday. We're going to keep a flood threat up for Friday as well. While we're not expecting torrential downpours, ground is going to be completely saturated, so any additional rain could lead to some flooding. This has been a product of the Weather Prediction Center, kind of within the umbrella of the National Weather Service office, and they've been going with kind of a constant, or at least steady, 2 to 3 inches plus on the South Shore, 3 to 5 plus inches of rain north of the lake, maybe a little band setting up of 7 plus inches, localized totals of 8 or more inches of rain possible. The reason I like showing this is because this actually has human input. The computer models no human input, so sometimes you see dramatic changes. I do like showing it only because it gives you an idea if there's a model trend or not, but I'd rather a little bit of more human influence in some of these forecasts. Now, this is a model, the Euro, but it's pretty much in line with what the National Weather Service is saying, 3 to 5 plus, 4 to 6 plus inches of rainfall. Then here's our kind of outlier, our high-end model indicating we get some big flooding rains on the North Shore. However, if you notice, the model now kind of indicates parts of the South Shore get almost no measurable rain, or if anything, we're looking at less than an inch of rain in the city. That is not what most other model guidance is going with, but it does kind of point out that, 15 plus up to 20 inches of rain in a few areas. Can't ignore that completely, but I think if we were to see that, it would be incredibly localized. If that occurs in a marshy area or in a wooded area, not an issue at all. But if it occurs over one of the North Shore rivers or a metro area, we have bigger problems. No changes to our tropical storm warning. That is going to be in effect from the Louisiana, Texas line all the way to Morgan City, where tropical storm force winds are possible are expected within the next 24 hours. We in southeast Louisiana not expecting tropical storm force winds, though it will be getting breezy and then windy later in the day tomorrow, as well as going into Thursday. So here's what we can expect. Greatest concern for us remains the flooding rain, flash flooding as well. Most of that rain arrives late Wednesday and into Thursday. Winds will start picking up, and we will see some minor coastal flooding. Right now along the southeast Louisiana coastline, storm surge numbers are only 1 to 3 feet. I figure they're so minor, we're not even going to waste time showing it. Flooding will be our greatest threat. Strong winds, some isolated tornadoes, and coastal flooding all minor to the potential of inland flooding from rainfall, flash flooding as well. That's what we're going to have to watch closely later tomorrow night and going into Thursday. Hopefully the heaviest of the rain avoids us. We will watch the model trend tomorrow, especially once our area of investigation, our potential tropical cyclone, gets into the Gulf waters and we start to see some organization. And then it'll also be interesting, as I said, later on in the forecast period, once it starts to encounter some of that wind shear, exactly where do some of the heaviest rainfalls set up as we head into Thursday. For now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin. Thank you for joining us. We'll have another complete update coming up at 10.